is Sebastian from the Metal Gods Meltdown, and this evening I'm joined by Wave.X. Can you first tell us about your band and where do you draw your inspirations from?
We ourselves can't explain where we take the inspiration from. It happens really chaotically, accidentally from time to time, while doing some other kind of job, maybe walking along the street. So it can happen maybe during the day or even at night. It's just everywhere around us. We just need to catch it and to transform it to some musical format. So it's not obligatory to listen to the same music to get the inspiration. It's just doing some standard daily actions. So nothing secret. It just live inside of our brain.
Okay, so you've released 5 singles. Are there plans to hopefully get an album together?
The reason why we released 5 singles one after another is maybe that it took too long for us to collect the full album because of COVID in 2020, and now we have war in our country, so it's really difficult. It takes a long time to prepare full-length album, but we are still working on it. Maybe it will be not full length, it can be EP in the future, but it will be album for sure.
We have many songs. We have full album, but we can record at this time because we have a lot of have little problem with our country at this moment. But full album we have at this time, but need some time for record.
Yeah, I understand you play like a lot of benefit gigs. Do many people attend, as it must be getting quite scary over there in Ukraine at the moment?
It was scary, I guess, in the first 3 months of war in our country. It was even scary to go along the street, even in daytime. But now we are just we know where to find information about air raids. So we just, if we hear it in the street or in our mobile phones, we just we just trying to care about ourselves and no, I guess no worry for now, no fear. So also taking part in some gigs and concerts, it's okay, it's fine. We just know what to ожидать.
We're waiting for.
We know what we are waiting for, so it's no fear after half of the year of war in our country. So maybe there are several gigs in our city every week.
Wow. So where you are at the moment, you're not occupied by the Russians at the minute where you're living?
No, we are not occupied. Our city, capital of Ukraine, was never occupied. Occupied territories are located closer to the east part of Ukraine.
In our region, we have occupied a small village, small town, but capital Kiev not occupied. But it's first few months it's be quite dangerous. We have a strike, air attack, we have missile attacks, we have bomb. It's first few months it's quite dangerous and difficult situation. and we don't work with our music at this moment, and we have need to be make a pause in our music work.
Yeah, I can imagine it must be really, really difficult. I mean, are you all sort of scattered about different cities then in Ukraine? So are you having to do stuff over the internet to rehearse and that? Is that how you're getting things done?
It's a very complicated question because we're not scared. We worry about the situation. Scare was maybe few weeks, months, but now we believe in our victory. We believe in our armed forces, and we not scared. We believe in our victory.
Okay. So with your benefit gigs, which has been the most memorable one so far that you've played?
For all time of Wave.X or just about wartime?
For all time with Wave.X, yeah.
It's I think so. We can say all our gigs. It's interesting. We love these things all. Have some technical questions for sometimes, but I can remember some specific of these gigs.
So forgetting the war, okay, living in another world, if there were 3 bands you could go out on tour with, who would they be?
We already had some tour with 2 of our Ukrainian bands. Are you asking about it or about some well-known not Ukrainian
well-known bands? If you could just like pick out, if you could just like a wish list, you know, if you could have a wish list of 3 bands to go on tour with.
Taras maybe would like to have a tour with Amaranth, and maybe me with our vocal singer would like to have a tour with Lacuna Coil. It's
Awesome.
It's like similar metal bands.
Okay, so if there was a song written by another band, which one do you wish was yours?
A song written by another band. Tricky question.
I prefer not give answer for these questions.
Yeah, we prefer to record our song that another bands could could wish to play.
Okay. All right, man. So what would you say has been your biggest accomplishment musically so far?
What do you mean accomplishment? Can you please?
What's been the biggest success you've had so far with Wave.X?
I believe our biggest success in future, not at this moment.
We are a young band, just about 2 years. We just started our work with the fans, our tours. The first active live year was previous year, 2021. So I guess no success can be within such small period of time. But I guess we had around 17 concerts, festivals, and gigs in the previous year. I think this is not bad because of COVID restrictions. We released some songs, but we can do better, and we will do better.
Cool. So do you have plans to stay in Ukraine, or do you think about moving away with your band to somewhere like Germany?
we stay in Ukraine. We love our country, but we want have some tour in future in Europe, but it's quite difficult because we have war and we have now restrictions because a man could not live outside of from Ukraine. It's we need some government
Documents.
position.
Yeah.
Documents from government from live outside of Ukraine. It's possible, but quite difficult.
What was the last song you listened to?
Today?
Yeah.
Maybe it's our new song. We today had rehearsal, and after that listen to our new single, which is not released. So maybe this is the last song.
Okay.
And it's a little bit surprise. We work on it, and I hope it's be a little bit surprise for our fans, and I hope it's be a success of this new song.
Plans for the rest of the year then?
For now, we have only plans inside the Ukraine. We already explained why. And to have some charity gigs, charity concerts to support our army, to let the army and our country to win faster. And creating, recording new songs. Some surprise is waiting for our fans in the next months. And just working.
So how important to you guys then is artwork for your albums?
Artworks for
Yeah.
albums. Where do we get it?
Yeah.
The first two singles had artwork which our vocal singer Hannah drew by herself. She had experience in drawing, and I guess the rest artworks, we just made some photos and by ourselves, and Taras made some changes in some programs to make it looks better. So it's all of artworks of our singles are made by us.
Brilliant. So what's the metal scene like in Ukraine? Is it a good metal scene over there?
Again, please.
What's the metal scene like in your country? Is it strong?
Metal scene?
Yeah.
It's a complicated question. We have great potential of metal bands, but these bands are not. They play in the bands like a hobby. They don't spend money, time, so they can't move it to the next level to do a job and to gain huge fans, a huge audience. So just they're in really tiny local atmosphere, they just working. This is maybe a question of nobody can help, nobody can stimulate financially these bands. So really a few bands of the metal scene became popular firstly outside the Ukraine, and after that inside. So it's not popular. Metal is not the genre that is developing in our country, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. Ukrainian metal scene most popular outside of Ukraine. Inside of Ukraine, it's quite poor situation of metal music.
Okay. So, who in your eyes is the ultimate metal god?
I don't know.
What in our opinion, metal god?
Who in your eyes is the ultimate heavy metal god?
Heavy metal god.
Yeah.
Which band do you mean?
No, the best band in our opinion.
Yeah.
I can't say which is the best. I can say which bands be popular in my childhood, in my teenager age, but it's almost all times change, and is very different genres. It's in heavy metal, it's new metal, it's alternative metal, it's modern metal. But name I cannot say which some names the best of the best.
All right. Okay, no bother. All right, guys. Do you have any final words for your fans and our listeners and viewers?
Слава Україні! Героям слава! Ми переможемо! Glory to Ukraine! We pray for Ukraine. We believe in our victory. And we believe in